are excited to be back after the 4th of July holiday.
Amen.
Glad to be back with the MoJo Whiskey Nation here.
Yeah, so, thanks y'all for tuning in. First time here, welcome. If you've been here before, why haven't you clicked that subscribe button yet?
Come on.
Just make it happen. I think I saw 95% of the people watch our videos have not subscribed. So chances are, if you're watching, you haven't done that yet. So
just it's free, and it probably burns a calorie or two. Just click.
Yeah, so. Exactly. But speaking of 4th of July, we slept, my wife and I and kids slept away to Saugatuck, Michigan, one of our favorite places to go. And we've talked about some whiskeys from that neck of the woods in the past. So there's a distiller, New Holland Distillery. They're known for making beer, I think, as well, probably more so than whiskey. But I tell you, just about all the whiskeys I've had and we've had from there have been phenomenal.
Yeah, they're coming on. They're coming on strong.
They have a little tasting room in Saugatuck, and I always like to poke my head in to see what they have that's new or different since the last time. And I picked up a couple things that are new and different from last time. So I guess just dive into the first one. So this is they have a beer barrel bourbon that I've had in the past. It's been a while, but this is a toasted version. Okay. And I don't know what that even says there, but it's in a scripty font thing going on here. Oh man, that didn't even help. Anyway, whatever it is, it's toasted in something. 90 proof. So here we go. I guess it doesn't matter here. Now they gave me a sample when I was in the tasting room. So the sample was enough to say, hey,
it's worth it.
Worth it.
Yeah.
And I think it was like, I want to say it was around $50.
That's not bad. Now, is this a distillery only?
I don't know, but they're again, at least in our neck of the woods, the only thing I ever see from New Holland is they're not this one, but
the 7-year
walleye run.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you see their origin, which I think their standard origin is maybe 90 or 96 proof. But I don't know how widely this is distributed. Okay. So.
You get a strong oak.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you do get a little bit of that. You can tell it was in a beer.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out, because there are some notes of hops, I would say.
Yeah.
And if I could read this fine print, I would see what it was toasted with, but I don't even know what. I spent half the video trying to read this.
Finished in Dragon's Milk
Stout
barrels and oak barrels.
And oak barrels, okay. All right. I mean, I would say.
And I can get that.
Yeah.
I can get that.
But not so much of a beer note that it's.
No, not at all.
That's overpowering.
Mm-hmm. Then there may be, I know it says a vanilla, and there may be a hint of vanilla there.
But yeah, I would say a little bit of oak, a little bit of beer, a little bit of vanilla. That's kind of what I'm getting on the nose.
Yes.
All right. I get the vanilla pretty predominantly on the palate.
I do.
There's some fruit, I think, too.
There is. There's one in there.
It's almost like it's like those cordial cherries.
Yeah.
Chocolate covered cherry. Because I would get a little bit of chocolate and a little bit of vanilla and a little bit of cherry. At least that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, I do get some of the toasted out of it, though. I had to take a second sip, because the first sip I took, I thought, is that a firecracker? But because it had that, we've been lighting fireworks.
I know, right?
That smell.
Everything's still clogged up.
But that's a really smooth drink.
Yeah, and I would say aftertaste for me, the beer. Mm-hmm. Aftertaste is there in a pleasant way. I know it doesn't necessarily sound like a good combination, but
and there's not one note that overpowers any of the other. No, it's a good mixture of everything.
It's a good sip and drink.
It really is.
I mean, and I don't typically like. It's not that I don't like. I typically prefer my proof to be north of 100.
Right. Yeah.
This one's coming in at 90, and I think it's drinking hotter than its proof.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
But at the same time,
I would put it at 100 proof.
Oh yeah.
If I didn't know that.
And I think that their beer barrel, I think they have a 101 version. I don't remember if they had a toasted version of 101, because I think if they did, I would have bought the 101 proof. But to me, and I guess we'll verify this here in a moment, but I almost think New Holland has they have sort of a signature tasting elements.
Okay.
And I guess we'll confirm that here in a moment.
Right.
But it's almost like they're starting to, like a lot of the ones we've talked about, the bigger distilleries especially, they start to get sort of a signature flavor profile that shows up throughout their offerings. But next one we're going to try, this is again part of their Walleye Run series. This is pot distilled single malt whiskey, aged 10 years. And this is 100 proof, and this is aged in American oak. So this one came in, I think that one was around $90, so a little bit more. But 10 years, single malt.
It's pretty solid.
Craft, you would expect it to be a little bit higher price point. And I obviously dipped into this one a little bit. So
Had a long drive home.
Well, was not a passenger princess on that trip. And I don't know a lot about single malts. I know we've had some Irish whiskey in the past. I think almost all of those are considered single malts. We've had a couple other single malts here and there. I know Scotch is single malt. So I don't know really that much about it.
No.
Except that it's whiskey.
It's whiskey. That's what I know. That's
we
my
drink
knowledge.
whiskey,
Yeah.
so the nose is kind of boring.
It is. Because I'm trying to identify
It's
something.
not as fun as this first one.
No,
anyway.
I'm just trying to identify something, and there's not a lot you're pulling out of that.
I'm getting like rubbing alcohol.
That's okay. I'm glad you said it, because I hate to say rubbing alcohol, but that's kind of what I'm at.
Yeah, I'm not getting much beyond that. All right. Good news is I don't taste rubbing alcohol.
No, not at all. I get some spice in it.
Yeah, it's almost like
And to me, and I say this a lot, I'm not even a coffee drinker, but the finish, I get a little bit of a coffee finish to it.
100%.
And
I wonder if I think that's part of at least what I'm determining in my head is part of the New Holland taste profile.
Yeah.
Is there's almost like a chocolate-y coffee.
Yeah, and it could be like a dark chocolate,
thing.
That bitterness to it. Yeah.
But there is a lot of bitters on this too for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
More than just coffee or a dark chocolate kind of bitter. I get some grassy notes on this one. The flavors, at least definitely compared to the nose, is very complex.
Very. Off the nose, I wouldn't have guessed it drank like this.
Yeah.
Because you have the earthiness to it. It's a solid drink. This is more than I expected off the nose.
The nose was a disappointer.
That was shocking that it came out the way it did. But I guess I'm not surprised with the stuff they've been putting out.
Yeah.
So you kind of thought, well, there's a hook here somewhere. And you found it when you take the sip of it. But the nose isn't, you're not going to grab much off of it.
No. No. And the other thing that's a little surprising to me is, it's 10 years.
Yeah.
And I don't get much char.
No.
Or oakiness or anything like that at all. Not that that's bad or good.
No.
It's just an observation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a pretty lovely drink.
It's pretty good. It's a solid pour.
And I think that would be my recommendation for folks out there. Again, I don't know how readily available any of the New Holland spirits are in your area. Like I said, this Walleye Run there, I don't know if we can see that on camera very well. I know I've seen it at Kroger and Meyer and places here locally, so it's pretty readily available. And their Dragon's Milk, I guess I might as well just grab the bottle. the Dragon's Milk. This is not their basic offering, but the bottle looks something like this. It's like dragon scales. If you see that,
I've seen that in stores.
Then here's the Walleye Run that I'm mentioning. If you see either one of these in the stores, I think they're something you should try.
Yeah, they're outstanding offerings
because they don't. I guess they're probably still considered a craft distiller.
I assume so.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know where one crosses the line. But you and I have talked about this in the past. The craft distilleries, they're bringing something unique to the table.
Yeah.
And I think everything I've ever had from Dragon's Milk it has that uniqueness to it.
They do. And you can tell that they put hours into developing a small product. And it's they will tinker with this and tinker with this.
Yeah.
And they will they are more than happy for you to sit up there at the bar and say, "Hey, can you test this? What's this taste like? What's this taste like?"
Right.
And so these guys are worth the time to go to. And that's nothing against the big distillers. I've been to plenty of those as well.
They're fine too.
But these craft distillers, I mean, this is their lifeblood, and it's on them. If they fail, they fail. I mean, if an offering from a large distiller fails, well, they got 20 more.
I know. Yeah, they'll just blend it with something else.
That's right.
I agree, and plus, if you can't find it in your neck of the woods, and if you're in central Indiana, like Jamie and I happen to be, getting up to southwestern Michigan, it's about 4 hours away, give or take. And Holland is where the headquarters of New Holland, Michigan, is where the headquarters of New Holland is, and they've got tasting rooms in South Haven. They got one in Saugatuck, and maybe a few other places. Yeah. So, good little place to pop in, and a great little weekend getaway to go see southwestern Michigan.
It's worth trying. It's amazing how many of these distillers are popping up in central Indiana, lower Michigan, Illinois, Ohio.
I know.
So it's
happening.
The Midwest is kind of booming with these right now, so that's awesome.
It's good stuff, man. All right, any other thoughts before we wrap this one up?
I'm kind of torn on which one I would choose. I mean, the nose.
They're just different drinks.
Yeah, they're different. I mean, the nose let me down here. The nose was very good here, but both are very solid pours. Yeah. You do get some of that beer taste, out of here, but this single malt, the bitterness at the end kind of grabs it for me. I mean, there's something about that, whether it's a coffee or a dark chocolate or what it is. Or there's even some other notes I can't even put my finger on right now. Right. But they're outstanding drinks. So
I think both of these are ones that I already experimented with this one the other night, but they're both ones that I would want to have maybe 2 or 3 pours, small pours in an evening. Start with it neat. Figure out what I'm drinking, what I like, what I don't like, and then adjust. But I agree. These are good little bottles to hang around.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.